What do you own a ridiculous amount of? Stuffed animals. Childhood me had a problem. Nuts and bolts. Every time I get a new thing that needs assembled, I keep the leftovers just in case. Now I have a ton of random, particular nuts and bolts with severely limited applications and I just can't seem to throw them away. Salt and pepper shakers. I guess 7 pairs isn't ridiculous for some niche collector, but I'm not. But where the hell did they all come from? I have cows, sugar skulls, goats. I don't need to shake that much salt and pepper. Q-tips. My wife signed us for our Amazon Household Essentials subscription and overestimated how often we bought Q-tips. A box came every month until I pointed out that using our stock of 20,000 Q-tips would take a while. Undefined. Records. About 2,000 of them. Back in the 1980s all my friends gave me their records when they bought CDs. Empty boxes from ordering stuff. I'm taking them to recycling as soon as I decide I'm not gonna use them. I was so bad with boxes, and with 3 people in one house we were getting a lot of boxes built up. I finally got rid of them all, broke them down and recycled them. Then I had no boxes to wrap anything in for Christmas and had to buy boxes. The box cycle is a savage and heartless one. Polyhedral dice. Dice goblin is please. Paper clips. I have a whole drawer full of them. Where do they even come from? Crafting supplies. I'm a serial crafter in that I like to get really into a crafting hobby for a period of time, could be months, years, or sometimes just weeks, and then I move on to the next craft. I usually buy supplies for that hobby as though it will be a lifelong passion. I'm also an aspirational crafter. I'll see the potential in raw materials which forces me to buy said raw materials, but then I get lazy and the project never comes to fruition. In short, I have 2 separate hobbies: collecting crafting supplies and crafting. Books. I'm never moving again. Rocks. I have a rock collection, precious stones, fossils and other cool minerals. When I tell you my room shines purple because of all my amethyst clusters and points, I mean it. Blood sugar. Sex magic. I have 5 copies of this CD, so it legitimately is something I own too much of. Houseplants. It's hard to stop buying / trading, or just propagating and making more. Second, I wanted to respond to all the trade plant comments with r/tacketplant. I've also seen trades on the Nextdoor app and community groups. My local plant store also hosts plant swaps. So take a trimming of your plant and propagate it. Show up and see who wants to swap. Socks. 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 I got socks for my socks. Are you the sock monster in my dryer? Tea. I worked in a tea shop and was able to get an insane amount of loose leaf tea for free. I literally have a cupboard of nothing but different flavors of loose leaf teas. Hundreds of dollars worth of tea for my own drinking pleasure. I probably have close to 40 different flavors, all in their own happy little tins waiting for the day I think yes, a pure green tea sounds perfect today. Steam games. Same. 80% of which I've never played. I discovered that you can make a dynamic collection that holds only the games you never played. It's been much easier to take that number down to 79% with it. Cables. There is an unwritten law of the universe. If you throw away a cable, you will need it within a month. Similar to the law that you'll always see random objects just laying around until you actually need them. Then they are nowhere to be found. Oh, and if you purchase a replacement, guess what you can suddenly find? That the replacement is the only one out of stock. Moomin tea mugs. I have close to 60, all different. My mother gifted me them 4 years in my advent calendar, and she got a bit carried away. Guitar picks. I have so many because I keep losing them, so I buy more. Then I clean my couch and find all the old ones, except the ones that the pick demon sucks into the vortex along with all the missing socks. Fragrances, about 90. Nerf darts P.S. I don't have any Nerf guns. When I started at my current job we used to have daily Nerf fights. Most people could throw them further and more accurately than any unmodified gun. Bionicle sets. They take up a good 1/2 of my personal storage space. Debt. Damn. Coffee beans. I won a lifetime supply of gourmet coffee beans in a contest. Several pounds arrive each month, faster than I can use them. Some get stored in the freezer, while other bags are given to friends who can use them. Plastic bags from the grocery store. I use them for trash bags in the bathroom. Masks. There was a sale. Chapstick and lip gloss. No matter where I am, there's always at least 10 somewhere around me. Stringed instruments. 10 guitars. 2 basses. 2 banjos. A mandolin and a few oddballs. The real question is, if you own mayonnaise. Dresses. I have over 100 dresses. All were purchased from thrift shops and all are donated back again after I wear them a few times, but still, it's a strange obsession. Amateur, my wife. Toilet paper. We moved during the pandemic and everyone thought they'd be clever and send us a pack as a housewarming gift. The first couple were helpful and appreciated. The many others that followed were not. We haven't bought toilet paper since May, and we still have 70 rolls left. We couldn't finish unpacking a few boxes because an entire closet is filled with toilet paper. Fat. Pocket knives. My grandfather used to sell them at flea markets for a side hustle, and he used to give them to the grandkids as gifts. I've gone on to buy a few interesting ones for myself. I have about 70 Mad magazines. I started collecting them in the 80s. I have just about every issue published between 1970 and 1990, plus a bunch more on either side. Atari games. I already had a bunch when I was a kid. Then my older cousin gave me all his when he got into high school and stopped playing. I have about 80, no duplicates. Plus, I still have a working console. Old video games. I have a massive setup of DOS and Windows games from the early 80s through the mid 90s. I can play through DOS barks and a front end. Something like 600 or so at the last count. I have another setup of emulated arcade games from the same era using MAME. Again, several hundred that are actually playable. I have other collections as well, just not a ridiculous amount in each. Pinball machines, over 100. It started with getting one that didn't work. I didn't know how to fix it, and once I learned it was fun. I started collecting them. When they are broken they are often cheap to acquire. I own 1,000 rubber duckies. I used to work in software engineering and wanted to prank the company, so I bought 1,000 of the buggers. Never got around to it, sadly. Undefined. Edit 2. Honestly, fellows, there are charities that need the money more than I need the awards. If you want to make me feel good, send a charity of your choice money, either in your name or anonymously. Discs frisbees. I'm somewhere around 250 now. You aren't doing it right. At least 90% of them should be in a water hazard. Pennies. They're useless here Canada, so I have nearly 1,000 in pennies. I collected them from banks when we stopped using them, hoping to make a penny floor with them once I find a house that I can see myself making into my forever home. Back hair. Gross. Whose is it? Mine. They stole it from me yesterday. Fancy men's boxers. Used to work for Saks and always took home any samples or extra stock that was available. The rest of the staff stopped taking them when they had enough, but I kept loading up knowing I wouldn't work there forever. 5 years later I have a suitcase in my closet with about 2,000 worth of underwear I'm planning on making last for the rest of my life, or if I ever reach the point that I can afford to pay 30 for a pair of boxers. Video games that I've never finished. Regrets. Felt that. Pen/markers. I'm really artistic, so it makes sense. I also have a crap ton of books, but that's besides the point. Undefined. Tabletop role-playing game books. I know someday I will find the perfect system for me. Oh. And I have to back that Kickstarter. And that book looks nice, too. Rice. I must own millions, possibly billions of grains of rice. It's really great for when you're hungry and want 2,000 of something. Rocks. I have them in my purse, in my car, in my cabinets, stashed in every room of my house. I like rocks. Squishmallows. Technically they are my daughter's, but I bought almost all of them. She has probably 30. We could get rid of her bed and she could sleep on them. She loves all of them, and I would quit buying them, but they are so damn cute. String lights. Clamps. You can never have too many clamps. Bicycles. I firmly believe in N1 being the appropriate number. Warhammer 40k armies. My wife hates that I started a hobby with lots of small pieces a few months before having our first child. I need books. I'm at 1044 and read physical books. I don't know how many are on my Kindle. I don't know why I own a Kindle. Used to own a lot of bouncy balls. I collected them as a kid. Anytime I saw a dispenser at a store of arcade I would get a ball. My favorite was one shaped like a UFO or Saturn, and there was a really pretty green one. I loved to shake the box that the collection was in because it sounded like thunder. I think I still have a fraction of the collection, but don't remember where I put it. Children. I know I have a shopping problem. Spaghetti. I go out for food, buy spaghetti on sale despite having loads at home. Only use like half the pack for a meal. Why do I do this? Dice. I don't even play in any in-person TTRPGs, so at this point I get them just to look pretty. Magic cards. Came here to say this. Got something like 30,000 cards in boxes that I can grab directly, and also something like that in the attic. Someday I'm gonna make lots of all common decks to give away to starting players. Hair ties. I'm a woman married to a woman and there has never been a shortage of hair ties at my house. I'm in the opposite boat. I'm a woman with 2 daughters and I feel like we are always searching for hair ties despite having bought a 100 pack yesterday. Where do they go? Fatigue. Underwear. At least it's ridiculous compared to how many I actually need. I don't know about you, but when I pack for a trip I pack like I'm going to be speepting myself twice a day. Graphic socks with graphics, not violent socks lol. Kinda pointless since no one will see them, and I rarely go without shoes. But I've got over 50 pairs. Anywhere from Friday the 13th to Stranger Things to Bret the Hitman Hart to the Misfits.